Howdy. Today at the shop, we turned over the U-17 Miss Red Dot Silver Cloud in. And this is the only time you're going to see it upside down because we don't crash this thing. So, this morning after we rolled it upside down, we took the runners off of the sponsons. They were not quite as flat as we'd like it, so now we're going to chew up the oak that's underneath them. And after that's perfectly flat, then we'll rebond the aluminum pieces that act as our runners for the sponsons. They're the running surfaces.
Next year, we'll just replace the screws and leave the runners up.
Crawl underneath and grab that ball peen hammer that landed.
You guys just pulling out every single one.
Well, on these runners here too, just runners off.
Those are still things like this.
We've got a jig that goes on the front. We have a similar part that's on the back that allows us to roll this thing over with as little as 2 people, and it's kind of handy because she's heavy. We also, before we rolled it over, we pulled the strut off, and so I'll take you back there and show you what we got going on there. Here you can see our second rollover jig. This is basically a pivoting bearing back here and goes through into the center of the boat. Makes it real nice and easy for it to just roll over. We pulled the strut off a couple weeks ago because we found some cracking back here and some stuff that we weren't real happy with the way it looked on the outside, so we decided to take it all off, take a look at it. Glad we did because we've had some delamination back here. This morning I've been grinding all of the bad fiberglass off.
We have to blast it up anyway. Here, John, want to grab that?
I'm actually going to take a couple chunks of the laminate out, and then we'll re-laminate that, get it to form a good bond with the core, which is a foam core on this boat. At that point then we'll build a spacer, get the gearbox back in the boat, and then we'll reset the strut at the exact angle where we want it. So you don't often get to see one of these things rolled over like this, and it helps give you a better idea of how these boats work. So on each side you've got the sponsons. We've got a spray rail here so that when we're going slow or getting up on plane, the water doesn't come up over the lid like it did on the old boats. It also helps help it pop up out of the water. These guys are working on the runners right now. They're basically taking the silicone off, and once that is all clean, then we'll take a great big piece of iron steel and wrap it with some 36 grit. We'll take and use it as a big longboard. It'll get those running surfaces completely flat again, and then we'll rebed the runner, which Nate's working on right there. He's actually getting it cleaned up and getting it ready to recoat with zinc chromate primer, and then we'll get it all back on the boat and ready to rock again. Justin's working on the other side right here, basically doing the same thing. You've got the tunnel of the boat in between the sponsons, and you pack air all the way back to where our speed coat starts, and that's where the brake of the boat is. Basically what that does is it packs air underneath the boat and allows it to ride on a cushion of air. When everything's right, you're just barely touching on the backs of the sponsons and riding on a surface piercing propeller back on the back. The skid fin attaches to this surface right here. This is our skid fin bracket. We've got great big rod ends that are actually out for X-ray right now, or Magnaflux, to make sure that they're not cracked. then they're going to go back in here, and it ties everything to the structure of the boat. These shoes at the back of the transom help provide stability, help provide a little bit of lift in the butt, especially during mid-range speed. When you're at full tilt, you're really just riding on one blade of the propeller, which is attached to the strut that's not here right now. We also have a great big rudder bracket here. It stands off the back of the boat to help with mechanical advantage. Got a post that comes through here and the blade of the rudder. You've all seen it right side up, but it's a little bit different looking upside down. Alright, so we got the laminate pulled off of the back corners here. We had a couple soft spots, and on this side we actually found a small fracture in the foam core. And so what I'm going to do now is take this die grinder and I'm going to V out this foam core. We'll get it dry and then we'll refill it with thick glue before we put a laminate back on it. Also have a little crack down in the radius of the strut. I think that it's just a Bondo crack, but while I'm here I'm going to V that out a little bit, make sure that we don't have any issues with any structure there. Better to fix it now than at a race.